Okay, I'd like to welcome you to today's meeting of the Weatherford College Board of Trustees call meeting. Hereby called to order. Brent, would you please provide us with the, Brent here?
No, Brent's out.
Oh, okay. Then I'll provide the invocation if you bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for being with us today and for this beautiful day and for the start of this new college year. We ask that you be with all the people who work for the college and represent the college, and also the students, that they may gain those things that they come here seeking. Those things we ask in thy Son's name. Amen. Open forum for individuals not on the agenda. We don't have any. Item number 3 is consideration possible action. We've received a request from the Board of Directors of the Parker County Appraisal District to construct an addition to the current district office, and it would be at a not to exceed price of $750,000, of which, and that would be spread out over 15 years as I recall, and the portion that we would have would be, the college portion would be $3,588 per year. And we talked a little bit last meeting and decided to invite the district to come up and just give us a little information on how they operate and the new facility that they're going to add on. And Larry couldn't make it, but Rick
Armstrong
volunteered to come up
Yeah, absolutely.
at his, to his boss. And with that, Rick, you got the table. And
I
I
appreciate it.
I personally am not looking for a big thing. I just have a couple of questions
Sure,
about
absolutely.
his operation and
I'd like to show you what we're doing.
Thank you.
We're all taxpayers here. And we
Thank you.
kind of see what's happening. What we're doing is, y'all want to share one of these?
Sure.
We originally built our building back in '03 with hoping it would last 10 years. And now we're in our 13th year and in the new building. Well, actually, it's going to be more than that. We've been in the building, about 13 years or so. And we built it the last 10 years. Well, now we're to a point where we're going to need to do something with the unprecedented growth we've got, the anticipated hearings that we're going to be having. We paid the note off. We got a 15-year note. We paid it off early. We refied somewhere in the middle, about the 13th year. It's paid off now. We're debt-free. And right now, the addition may be up to $750. We haven't got any numbers yet to know exactly what it's going to be. But one of the biggest reasons why we're adding on, if you'll see on the building here, you can see on the far north end, that's going to be the addition, which it's just going to be an extension, and the architect built it with that in mind. After, when we add on, we can just keep extending north, and we also own that lot to the north there, so we're going to keep pushing forward. Right now, we've got about 60 parking spots. We have 35 employees, and during collection time and appeal season, obviously parking's a problem, and as folks are coming through and paying their taxes on the drive-through, it starts becoming an issue. And obviously, as we're growing and getting bigger, but the part right in the middle there, that's the important thing. That's going to be our ARB panels. Right now, we've only got one, and with our growth, and next year, Parker County is going through a reappraisal year, and as taxpayers, we know that the market's doing well, and no matter where, Parker, Tarrant, Dallas, wherever you want to pick. So we're anticipating obviously a lot of appeals, and right now we've only got one panel room, and what we're going to do is go up to 4, maybe 5 panel rooms to accommodate all the appeals that we're anticipating, because most folks probably will be appealing. So that's the big thing now. The add-on, obviously we're at capacity right now. But the add-on are just some additional appraisers' offices as the need arises, and it's pretty close. Larry and I have been attending Commissioners Court, different school districts, went to the City Council a couple of weeks ago. we went to Aledo and there was a demographer there, and for the next 10 years, we're going to be measuring between 600 and 900 houses a year, just right there only. And that don't include Brock, Eastern, Poolville, Witt, Garner, you name it. We're seeing unprecedented growth that we've never seen before. And our biggest fear is with the appeal season coming up, if we don't have these panel rooms, that could hold up certification of all of our entities' tax rolls. And obviously, we don't want that. So we have to expand our capacity for the hearings so we can get our rolls certified on time for all of our entities. So that's our biggest thing. We're also going to be increasing, we're going to be adding about an additional 40 parking spots to the north of our building now. We're going to add on to the parking lot there. So this add-on is going to be about 3,100 square foot. And you can see what we're adding there. We're going to be having panel rooms. And you're right, the allocation is going to be around, right now the college is like 5% of our budget right now. And obviously as Aledo grows and some of these other entities grow, everybody pays based on percentage of levy to the whole. So as Aledo grows, perhaps they're going to be catching up. The college is 5% as an example. Weatherford ISD is 24% of our budget right now. Now obviously Aledo's 18 right now, but with Morningstar and Walsh Ranch, obviously that's going to be going up. Therefore, some of the other entities are going to be going down. Don't know how much or what, but obviously we know that's coming. So that's what we're doing, and just wanted to, in order to do this, we need to get 75% of the entities to approve the addition, and we've been getting those, and we've attended some council meetings, some school board meetings, where we have questions, we're taxpayers, we just want to know what's going on. So we've been doing that, and if y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer anything that you may have.
How do you measure your activity? Is it number of levies, like for where I live, I get, the hospital and school and the college, several of those. I mean, how do you measure, or just that number of appraisals that you do? How do you, I mean, I know you're expanding and it's going to get busier, but what volume do you measure as far as how many how many taxable properties there are, or?
Yeah, we're about 110,000, that which includes minerals, which we know, as y'all seen y'all's values, that kind of took a hit this year because the Barnett Shell dropped, but we have about 110,000 accounts, and obviously as we're growing with this Morningstar and Walsh Ranch, obviously that parcel account's going to be going up. Therefore, we're going to need more bodies, to measure the houses, to talk to the folks coming to the counter, on the phone, emails. We're just going to need more people to handle the service requests that the taxpayers are wanting. So,
are your operating procedures similar to like all the elected boards and stuff? You have open meetings. Your budgets are subject to public review or scrutiny. I know your board members are not paid either, are they? But they are appointed elected by the entities based on the pro rata portion, just like the allocation of the dollars.
Yes, sir.
A little bit about your operation. Are you subject to open meetings? Can anybody attend your meetings?
Yes, sir. Except,
private, I'm sure once in a while you have to.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Once a month, college board, I guess y'all are once a month, perhaps, I don't know.
Yeah.
We have once a month, it's posted, we post an agenda, and you bet.
How many employees do you have now at the appraisal?
35.
35.
35 right now. And we're good right now, and hopefully this expansion, we're hoping will last us another 10 years. I don't know.
Yes,
it's unprecedented. I've been here since '84, as well as a lot of y'all, and we're seeing a lot of things that haven't seen everywhere we go. The HEB, the new, everywhere we're going, and it don't matter where it's at. We're seeing things that we haven't seen before, and obviously next year, with it being a reappraisal year, obviously the market's doing well. all of our entities probably see a pretty significant increase in your values. You know, about 10 billion taxable. You know, that could go up maybe $1.5 billion, $2 billion perhaps.
Interesting.
So what'll happen then, we'll see. So we're anticipating pretty big.
You will need the space for reviews, won't you?
Yes, sir. It's been a long time. Market's been flat, as we all know. Nothing's happened. Of course, we've been reading the paper about Tarrant, Dallas, Collin, Denton, about how the appraisal district raised the values and how the appeals are going. So we coincide our reappraisal. Every other year, we're audited by the state comptroller's office for school funding. And they come in and look at our appraisal level to make sure we're appraising at a certain level. So we do that every other year. So this year's coming up will be a reappraisal year, and the state will be coming in and audit. It's called a property value study, but they're going to be coming and looking at our appraisals and our value. So.
Okay. Got other questions?
Yeah, I got one. How many taxing entities have voted to approve this point?
At this point, we've got 19. One or two of them, there was no action taken. It wasn't a vote against.
Well, how close to the 75% are you?
We got it.
You got the 75%?
Yes, sir.
The next question is, it sounded to me like you're not sure what the cost of this is going to be yet. You're still working on that, is that right?
Yes, sir. We're out for bid right now, or going to be going out for bid, and that's when the contractor obviously low bid, and we'll be reviewing the contracts coming up.
I understand that, but the motion that would be on the table here is not to exceed $750,000. And so when do you think you'll have the information about what the cost is going to be?
The 20.
Okay, all right.
The 20.
So,
Depending on how many contractors we get in, and we'll narrow it down, and the board of directors will, working with the architect, come down to.
would it be more prudent for us to know what the cost is going to be before we vote to approve something, Rick?
Well, just with the architect, trying to plan something in the future. You know, he was looking between, or we was, 3,100 to 3,500 for some more offices and expansion. And he really didn't know what the market is out there because, like he said, everybody's busy and the price is going up. So he put somewhere around $200 a foot, which may be totally unreasonable once we get the bids in. The bid could be 600, 550, because actually we thought it was going to be about 3,500. It's only 3,100. So we know, but the board wanted to put a cap on it at 750, not to exceed that.
So what you're saying is, whatever it is, it's not going to exceed $750,000.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. And if it was the 750, that's what the college allocation would be, $3,500, $3,588 a year. If it was based on the $750,000 loan,
It can go down.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, got
Yes, sir.
that. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I would entertain a motion in that the Board of Trustees approves the resolution of the Parker County Appraisal District to construct and furnish in addition to the current appraisal district office of approximately 3,500 square feet at a cost not to exceed $750,000.
So moved.
We have a second? Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? There are none. Rick, thank you very much.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Item number 4 is consideration of possible action on adoption of the 2016-17 budget, salary structure, schedules, and approval of contractual employees. And Ms. Cantrell?
Basically, at this time, we're recommending that to adopt the budget of $54,358,564. There's been minor changes to the budget since we presented it to you 2 or 3 weeks ago. Just a small grants come in, and some adjustments in salary really is basically the changes that we've had throughout the budget. Some of that increase in salaries caused the necessary transfer for Wise County to go up a little bit. I think $9,000. Changes in expenditures other than that were, one of them was the distance education budget. A decision was made to go ahead and start the new Moodle, or the learning management system, which has been Moodle in the past, that we're looking to pilot a new system, which is called Canvas. Mike could speak to that also. Basically, they'll come in and start piloting this fall with a few hand-picked instructors. One of the things we want to do is to make sure, I did some research on this, and I went to Tyler, who also has this Canvas and has had it a number of years, and they encouraged us to start over new, not try to bring over any of the old Moodle or the old class structures with it, so that we needed everyone trained by next fall for it to go live with everyone, and not to allow some to do it the one way and some to do it another. And so we went ahead and amended the budget to include this $52,000 for the Canvas subscription. Also, group health insurance increased just a little bit. It's just minor adjustments for workman's compensation benefits. We went back and reviewed that. We placed $30,000 additional dollars that, and unemployment benefits was increased by $10,000. The tax increase that we'll talk about in just a minute is included in that at the 12.019 cents. It's split up between interest, maintenance and operation, interest and sinking, as we discussed on August 4th. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to entertain those specifically for you.
Questions on the budget?
Also, I think Kevin said attached in here was the proposed budget, the faculty hiring schedule that has to be approved on an annual basis, and personnel pay structure.
And it includes the 3% pay raise.
Yes, it does.
Any questions, members of the board? Then I would entertain a motion that the Board of Trustees approve the proposed 2016-17 budget in the amount of $54,358,564, and the salary structure schedules for the 2016-17 fiscal year, and the employment of the contractual employees included in the proposed 2016-17 budget. Have a motion for that?
I'll move.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. The budget is approved. Item number 5 is consideration and possible action, adoption of the 2016 ad valorem tax rate of $0.12019, which is broken out between $0.11376 for maintenance and operations and $0.00643 for debt service. I think you're still on.
This time, we do recommend that the administration does, that the Board of Trustees adopt that 2016 ad valorem tax rate that Frank just mentioned. I want to note to all of you all that this total rate is less than the effective tax rate that was calculated for the college. So even though our maintenance and operation met the effective tax rate for maintenance and operations, it did not exceed it, not requiring us to go to hearings or anything else, and so the total rate is less than the total effective tax rate. I think that full effective maintenance, the effective rate would be $0.12087 as compared to what we're adopting of $0.12019.
I'd like to open for discussion. Is there any comments, input?
I've got some remarks that I would like to make. Bear with me, I could have made this very long. Been several factors that have influenced the budget shortfall that leads us to a vote today that will result in an increase in taxation residents of Parker County for funding of the Weatherford College operation and debt service. Partially a reduction in property values due to a decrease in mineral production, partially from a change in the state's calculation and management of the high school dual credit programs. Neither of these factors seem to be situations that will be resolved favorably in the short term, that the college could expect to see an increase in that revenue. We've all seen many of the other local taxing entities have also announced that they will be increasing their tax rates as well, in some cases to a considerable degree. The bottom line is the taxpayers are going to be asked to provide an increase in taxes to pay for these declines in revenue. And while I know that governmental bodies are required to provide certain services and that the taxpayers are those that are responsible for those taxes, it is important for our board and each of the other taxing entities to make sure that we are doing our very best to ensure that no increase in taxation is levied if there is an adequate and appropriate method to absorb that cost. I'm very proud of the hard work that Dr. Eaton, the administration, and the staff of Weatherford College do to allow this institution to maintain a low cost of operation, especially when compared to other schools in the state. I'm also glad to see this proposed tax increase to be such a small increase for the county's taxpayers. However, many of our taxpayers exist on a limited or fixed income, and every increase in taxation places significant constraints on their financial status. At this time, we're balancing the need for an increase in revenue that can come from either increased taxation or through a raise in tuition rates, which were already approved and cannot be changed until at a later time. To address these changes in revenue, I encourage the administration and the board to weigh the prospect of challenging the state's determination on the calculation of the dual credit courses and to look at further consolidation of service locations where applicable to attempt to further reduce our cost of our services and to reacquire the funding of those courses that have been taken away. If we can successfully accomplish these goals over the next year, then I propose that we make a goal to propose a tax reduction for the next school year that would be under that 12-cent rate, and to make a pledge to keep the tax rate for Weatherford College below that level. I'm not opposed to the tax rate. There is a consistent circumstance where we see tax rates consistently going up, and just speaking for a lot of the people that I've talked to, there are a lot of concerns with a lot of people of how are we going to pay this. Myself as a taxpayer, I never want to pay any more tax than I have to, but you know, we have to do what we have to do. But I do have a lot of people that are really concerned about how they're going to get this extra money out of their fixed income that they're already dealing with. Again, I'm very pleased that what we're looking at, and because of y'all's good work, is very minimal. But as we vote forward on this, if we see that we can make some changes in potential revenue over the next year, that the board consider maybe next year going past that 12 benchmark is it's an easy thing to do, but before you know it, it's 13, 14, and so on.
So I think what I heard was one of the things is let's take a relook at the issue associated with what we ran into with the Higher Education Control Board,
Correct.
which has already kind of been started with South Plains College, South Texas College, and probably would be good for you to maybe give us a report, Dr. Eaton, next meeting.
Yes, sir.
On what you're finding out for that, because things have changed since we took that on, so we might want to be sure we're kept up to with all the other information. What were other items that you would like to make sure we start working on?
And we're already doing this to an extent.
Oh yeah,
looking
we're
at
looking at
consolidation.
consolidating. Yeah.
You know, as a private business owner, you know, any of us have to consistently look at our budget and look at ways where we can manage costs, especially if we're dealing with, you know, payment forms from a government entity that don't tend to raise consistently. You look at Social Security, this last increase was, I don't know,
Zero.
basically a zero. And so that may be an area where we can, budget shortfall, we're not talking about much. I know I'm just nitpicking a little bit here, but every little bit could help. And that may be an area where we could see some savings. Again, we're talking with the different campus location service areas, and that may be something that over the next year, this time next year, we may have a different picture at the bottom line.
Comments? Any other comments? Thank you. All good points. As much as there had been some things come out from the state with regards to how the wording should be done, I am going to make the motion. I move that the ordinance fixing and levying ad valorem taxes for the Weatherford College District for the year of 2016 and for each year thereafter until otherwise provided be fixed and levied at a total rate of $0.12019 to be split into the maintenance and operation rate of $0.11376 and interest and sinking rate of $0.00643. That's the motion.
So what does that mean?
Moving that we establish these rates until otherwise provided, which we otherwise look at every year.
But that doesn't change what we have as far as what the consideration is here.
No.
It
doesn't. That was-
1210019
Say, yeah.
and 11376.00643. That's basically what your motion is.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is what it is.
That's what I read.
The wording a certain way, Matt.
Yeah.
Taxes.
Went back, looked at the tax code this morning and doing specifically what the wording on the ordinance said.
And then if that passes, then it would be signed into an ordinance by me and attested by Dr. Haynes. Any seconds to that motion? Discussion?
Well, where's the pause? I mean, I feel good about that. I can second that for you directly. I'll second it.
Okay. Now discussions. Any other discussions?
I like it.
All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I abstain.
One abstention. Motion passes. I would entertain a motion that we adjourn.
I'll move.
Any seconds?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.